And we are live. Hey, I just wanted to come on here and talk real briefly about the difference between success and failure as a chief audit executive. Now, what I'm going to talk about is it's true for chief audit executives, chief internal auditors, whatever you call yourself, but it's also true for really anyone in leadership. Okay. A lot of times people think, well, it's what these different leaders do that makes the difference. But actually, that's not the case. I understand because again, we see what people do and we think that, right, certain people just do things better than other people. But it's not the doing, it's actually the being that makes the difference. And so, really, the difference between being successful or being a failure as a chief audit executive comes down to one thing, and it's habits. Okay. And so those individuals who actually develop and follow certain habits are the ones who are more successful. Okay. And again, there's been research done on this. It's also been true in me working with a lot of chief audit executives and coaching them over the years, that there tend to be some common habits that each of these people do. And the interesting thing is they're things that you wouldn't even expect. So I'm sharing what those are. So I just came up with a new course on C-Risk Academy that you can find at ondemand.criskacademy.com. And it's actually called The 7 Habits of Highly Successful Chief Audit Executives. And so in that, it's a free course. It's an hour and a half long. And so all you have to do is go over to ondemand.criskacademy.com and you can actually get into that course for free and earn an hour and a half of training as well. So, like I said, as I went back and was looking at, what is it that is the common theme between all of the chief audit executives that I see and that I work with who are successful? And what does it mean to be successful? Maybe you'll talk about that, just quickly as well, right? Well, to be successful, right? A lot of these people, they feel confident. They feel confident in what they are doing, right? Because, again, if you're not feeling very confident, then the way that you're acting and the things that you're doing, actually, it's not going to go over that well, right? Because people are going to see that you don't really think you know what you're talking about. And so people that actually follow or live these habits actually have more confidence as well. And which is a great byproduct as well, right? Because the more confident you are, the bigger of an impact you can have. Now, also, when people follow these habits, they're more trusted. And I know, especially, in this area of internal audit, a lot of people want to be trusted, right? We have this term called trusted advisor, right? That you want people to trust you. Well, again, the individuals who follow these 7 habits that I talk about in the training are the ones who tend to be more trusted by their peers, by the other executives in their organization, and by the board. And it's because of who they are being and the habits that they're just in the habit of doing each and every day, every week, every month. And so some of the consistency, again, from those habits is what makes people successful. Now, again, you may be sitting here going, I don't know, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Well, you don't have to believe me. There's also been a lot of scientific research that shows this as well. People with certain habits outperform other people. Okay. And so again, I talk more about that. I'm not going to share everything here in the live. Like I said, I put together an hour and a half course for you to be able to do that. I can't share everything with you here just in a few minutes of me being on live, but you can get it. Like I said, it's free at ondemand.criskacademy.com. So if it interests you, go out, register for it, and see what it is. But let's talk a little bit more about, some of the other ways, right, that these things actually help you. So we talked about, these habits actually make you more confident. It makes you more trusted, but it also makes you more respected, right? And I hear this all the time from people, where they say, you know what, the other people in my organization don't respect me. They don't listen to me. Well, those executives who are following and have adopted and are actually practicing these habits, guess what? They're actually respected and they're listened to by other people in their organization. And so, again, as I said at the start, I put this together specifically for chief audit executives, but really these 7 habits are things that really anyone who is in leadership needs to do. Okay. And so anyway, like I said, I just wanted to come on here quick and kind of talk through that. Because again, a lot of people think that, well, if I do things different, then I'll get different results. But the fact is, right, that most of the time, I mean, 2 different people can do the exact same thing, but they get different results. And so you sit there and you wonder about that and you think, well, why could that be, right? It's because, again, the different people, even though they're doing things, they have established different habits and they do those things differently. Okay, one of my favorite quotes now is, the doing is only as good as the being doing the doing. Okay, and so what that means is, right, like I said, 2 people can do exactly the same things, but one person, because of who they are, the habits they've developed, the character that they have developed, they end up outperforming. Now, I know, it's time now as I'm recording this, when the Olympics are actually going on. And so that's a good analogy as well, right? If you look at the athletes who end up placing gold, silver, bronze in the world, what's the difference between those athletes and maybe the ones that score 4th or 5th or 10th, right? The main difference, again, is the habits that they've developed and who they are being, right? A lot of it is up here in your mind. It's a mental game, especially when you are competing at a world-class athlete level. And the same is true even when you are in the executive leadership level as well, right? It's a mind game. And so the people, again, who have established and developed these habits, they play the mind game better than anybody else. And like I said, it's from the habits that they've actually developed, and you can learn what those are as well. So anyway, like I said, that new course, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Chief Audit Executives, just dropped in the last day or so on C-Risk Academy, and you can find that out at ondemand.criskacademy.com. So if you're interested in competing at the world-class level as a chief audit executive, or if you want to ever get a job as a chief audit executive, it's well worth your time to go out and register for this free course today. And with that, wish you the best and a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you the next time I'm here on Alive.